Hello and welcome to another Consulting Room Pause for Thought. I'm David O'Brien, and today we're going to be talking about delegation, which is a really important skill. Maybe it's an art for business owners to get their head around, and it's not always the most obvious thing for a business owner to be able to do, to let go of something, to give it totally to somebody else and trust them to do it. So business owners have a massive amount of things on their plate, all different calls on their time, calls on their resources. But ultimately, for a business, there are only four things that a business needs to be successful. It needs somebody to make the product or deliver the service, depending on the kind of business. It needs somebody to sell it. It needs somebody to count the money. And ultimately, as the business grows, you need somebody to manage the people. Now, the bad news is that there's not a person being born who's good at all four of those things. So a business owner tends to be good at one or two, probably not three, but one or two of those things, probably one that they're really keen on, they really do well. So the business needs other people. You need to be able to let go of things and pass things on to other people to do. You need to learn the art of delegation, because if you want to have the highest quality, you need to have somebody else doing the things that you're not so good at. If you want to grow, you need to be able to bring other people in to do things, because your time is a finite resource, a precious resource as a business owner. And you probably do already delegate things to your accountant or bookkeeper or IT or printing, or they're probably already things that you do allow other people to do for you that you're not perfect at. And you can delegate to people inside the business or outside the business. So you can take on people, develop them, train them, and delegate, or you can outsource, delegate to people outside the business. But whichever way you do it, it's quite useful. There's a model by Ari Meisel, which talks about the 6 levels of delegation. And it's useful to think about this model when you're delegating and think what type of delegation you're actually doing. So we'll just run through this briefly. The lowest level of delegation, the first level, is to give somebody a simple task to do and tell them how to do it, and then check in that they've done it. That's the basic way to delegate. Then as you go up the levels, you ask somebody to research, to work out what the options are and present them back to you, and then you decide, and then you may allocate simple tasks to other people to do. Level 3, you ask somebody to research, to think about the options, to assess them, and to advise you on what should happen, but you still keep the ultimate control. Level 4, you're going to ask somebody to research and to start, to begin the work. You're not going to give them full autonomy to get everything on, but you want them to get started on it and then check in with you and see how things are going and then make decisions from there. Level 5, you delegate autonomy. You allow them to do it within boundaries. So you may set criteria. They may be time criteria, it may be a budget, financial criteria. There may be specific guidelines that they have to follow, but you're allowing them to get on with it and just report back to you on the outcomes. And then the 6th level is you delegate full autonomy. You just tell somebody what needs to be done, and you allow them to decide how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and just report back to you on the option. So as you delegate things inside and outside the business, it's useful to think of those 6 levels and work out what type of delegation you're doing, because ultimately the most valuable business is one that operates without the owner. That for most businesses, unless it's just a lifestyle that the business is going to retire when you retire, if you want to have value in the business to pass on to somebody else, either within the business or within the family, or you want to sell the business, then the business needs to operate without you as the owner, without relying on you to solve problems and to do some of the key roles. So a big question for you as a business owner, if you're looking to build that kind of scalable, valuable business, is what's the next thing that you're going to delegate to improve the quality or scale and grow your business? So today, talked about delegation. It's a really important skill. Maybe it's an art for business owners to get their head around. And to be honest, it doesn't come naturally to most entrepreneurs. Most people who start businesses find it a bit difficult to let go. But delegation, absolutely an important skill to learn, to develop, to think about. And if you want to have a chat, myself or Michael, always happy to spend half an hour with you talking about your business, talking about delegation, anything you want. So that's today's Consulting Room Pause for Thought.